You wanted me to pick Otto because you picked Gav. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, I bet you most people pick Gav, so maybe I should pick Otto, but I felt like Gav was the better choice. Like, he'd be better at this than Otto, and Otto would be better at picking up the supplies from the supplier than Gav would be. So it just like felt like the correct choice. So that's why I went with it. If it was really just a emotional choice, then maybe I would have picked the opposite just to be different.
Looks like I found the river. Now where's Gav?
So let me jump in your face real quick.
Sorry to keep you, Gav.
Better late than never. I've had a quick scout about, and I reckon round here's our best bet if we want to grab as much of this Stardust stuff as we can. Don't know what Blackthorn's planning to do with it, though. I asked over in Dalamil, and they seem to think it was worthless. But if Stardust is what Blackthorn wants, Stardust is what he'll get. There's plenty of this stuff lying about, just begging to be bagged.
Then let's get bagging, shall we?
We shall. Race ya.
I like your chocobo. Yeah, calling what Clive does a jump is probably being too generous.
So this is Stardust. It just looks like black sand to me.
Maybe you should, like, get a bag or something instead of sticking it in your pocket. Pocket sand. If he pocket sands someone, that would be great. Like, we get back and suddenly Gav is in trouble and his pocket sand is... The bandits have him by the throat. Just pocket sand the bandit. Also, yeah, I don't think I have to play Final Fantasy XIV for Fantathon anymore. I think we just played it.
That should be enough for now. Let's see how Gav's getting on.
Pretty sure this is the Final Fantasy XIV experience. This, but with cat ladies.
You finished? How much did you get?
Enough.
A pocket full.
Oh, you win. That might even be enough for old Blackthorn.
I mean, it's an RPG. I'm willing to look past it. But, we gotta make this for an entire ship. I don't know if your pocket full of sand is gonna be enough.
Hey, before we go, do you mind if we have a chat?
I mean, I know it's only for the heat thing, but... I don't know. Dude, do we get the Gav date? Is that what this was?
Feels like ages since we had the chance to talk. You know, man to man like.
It does, doesn't it?
The Dav gate?
Back when you first took Sid's name, we were talking all the time. working out what to do in that.
There was a lot to work out.
And there still is. Those shoulders of yours starting to feel the strain. Hardly ever see you around the hideaway nowadays. Always on some errand or other. You can take a day off, you know.
Says the man who spends most of his time behind enemy lines.
Only 'cause you keep sending me there.
It's got a point.
I know I can count on you, Gav.
Likewise. So you keep sending me wherever you need to, and I'll keep going. Safe in the knowledge that I have a home to come back to. Thanks to you. Right. That's enough soppy shite for one day. We'd better get this lot back to Blackthorn before he slings his hammer at someone.
You go on ahead. And try to get some rest once you're there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. After Blackthorn gets what he needs, of course.
Right. Ready to go home, boy?
Bork. You know, Lord Snake, I don't know if you know this, but you don't have to be on Twitch all the time. Like, there is some other websites you can visit. I heard Twitter's a good one. Check that website out. I'm not saying you have, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be here. You could leave.
I said this is all Blackthorn needs.
It's not a hint or anything. Look at that giant sack. Otto's got the goods.
Blackthorn, got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the Stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
We should go out on maneuvers together more often. You're beat sneaking around on your Todd all the time.
Doing what?
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating together then. It'll take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, I could do without you breathing down my neck.
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's underway.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work too.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
So, this is a small thing, not really like a negative, but do you guys think it would be better if only the side quests gave you renown? Or do you like the fact that main quests give you renown also? I just feel like maybe the mechanic would be a bit better, like, I don't know, it would feel a bit better if it would make the side quests feel a bit more relevant if they were the only thing that gave you renown. I mean, you still, I'm sure that the big renown things you have to do like all the side quests to get anyways, but I don't know, I think it would be a bit cooler if you could only get this stuff if you were doing side quests, and if you weren't, then you didn't get anything from her. It might make it a bit more of a side quest. I don't know. It's fine either way, but I was just thinking.
Expecting you back so soon.
Thinking maybe it would be better that way. Either way is fine though.
Your benefactors are a generous lot. You earned this.
Wow. 2 meteorites. You shouldn't
Best of
have.
luck out there, Sid.
Actually, didn't I use like my last meteorites in that last thing? No, I have 22 of them. Yeah, they get more, so. I don't know, I was just thinking about it, because it would make the side quests feel a bit more like their own thing. And like, right now, the only real reason to do the side quests is renown. And of course the story, but if you didn't care about the story, or if you're doing a second playthrough, the only reason to do them is for the renown. And you get some renown for doing story quests, and it might just make it, as a separate mechanic, a bit more interesting.
If I don't come up with something soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn's started work on the plating.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but impossible to work.
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need.
What?
What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name?
What's her name? Right.
This is where we walk up to her and her name is actually what's her name?
Oh, Sid, is this about the helm?
Yes. Mid said I should speak with you.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is burned to generate heat. That heat is then harnessed to produce motive force. Excess heat is dealt with by means of the thermal displacement stack, which disperses it into the surrounding air. Now, were we to rely on thermal plating alone to achieve this effect, the rate of excess heat buildup would far exceed the displacement coefficient of the plating. In other words, the reactor would overheat and eventually explode. This is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all that excess energy. Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are remarkably thermophilic. They can withstand and absorb levels of heat far above anything we are able to make today. And not only that, they're also waterproof and immune to rust, making them the perfect material for our protective hood. Why, if sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there. I understand. Mid said we might be able to use parts of the fallen ruin. Where would I find it?
Ah, yes. It's in Lorbert's Pass, near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there.
Uncle
It's no longer
Byron.
a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid. I'll gather my team and head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins.
Taking bets on the unwanted visitor. My guess was ancient robot, similar to the one we just fought. That's my guess. Could also just be a monster. And before it's a bunch of bees.
I'll be taking you all to a storehouse.
Or
in
another
the
marble.
Vales. Leave anything you don't need behind.
Four wolves. walls. Now that's the way. That's the Final Fantasy XVI experience. I mean, let's be real though. We're like 30 plus hours in. It's definitely at least 5 wolves. Maybe even, dare I say, 6. That might be pushing it too far, though. That might be a challenge run at that point. Didn't know why Lost Wing was abandoned? Well, maybe because of that quest we just did. That was in Lost Wing, right? Yeah. Wait, was it? No. No, that was somewhere else. Sure, we could probably figure it out. We could either go talk to the people or the tomes might even know. I was thinking it was because of the war. The dude going off the kill the Black Shields, but I want to say the regular people leaving was before that. I'm not sure though. The world building in this game is so good that whenever I have a question like that, or you have a question like that, it feels like we could find the answer, you know, which is really cool. A lot of other games, you would have a question like that, and then you would just be like, I don't know. Or like, check the wiki, and then it ends up being in some random developer interview, or some book that they wrote after the game came out, you know. It's cool that I genuinely think we could figure it out. If I went to the village and talked to people, or if I talked to tomes, or if I looked at the history thing, we could probably discern the answer, or at least come up with a guess, you know? Which is cool.
There you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll be right back.
It's such a goofy, like, so there's this thing in there that could easily murder any of us. Could you go kill it? Yeah, I'll be right back. Give me a minute. It's like going to the grocery store. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Anybody home?
Bork. That is not what I was expecting.
This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go.
His name is Unwanted Visitor. Well, he's not having a very good time. Well, that was a fight. He cast Doom before doing anything else, and both times he cast Doom, I took out his entire stagger bar. So we never got to do anything else. Every time he cast Doom, I got him to half stagger, and then I pulled him, and then by the time he was done getting pulled, he was staggered. So I just chained everything together. He never got to do an attack.
things I do for you, Mid.
Sid! Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
Her voice is so strange.
Indeed.
Thank goodness you're safe.
Don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
She needs a cough drop or something. Eye of the Warrior. Increases strength, tonic, duration. At least that's something kind of unique. We had one of those for the other tonic, I think. One of the other tonics. The stone tonic, I think. Alright, well. Back to the lab. Eye of Cthulhu looking loser. Go back to Dungeons and Dragons, you nerd. I didn't know you could get there from this way. We should have an insult contest, but instead of insulting each other, we insult the monsters. Whoever has the best insults wins. Go around.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
Wow. Why would anyone want to do that? Amy, you're my spirit animal. Why would you want to read a book without pictures?
If I don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Harpocrates.
Tomes? Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him, see what he makes of it?
Right away.
Speaking of books, I finally finished my audiobook the other day. I asked my wife to recommend another book because I didn't know what to do next. She gave me like a giant laundry list of books.
We're seeing troops amassing at every border.
Yeah, that was my first mistake. She also got mad at me because I was like, I've been trying to get her to read Slaughterhouse-5 for like the longest time. Because I read that book in high school, and I just think it's such a unique book that everyone should read it. Anyone that's into books should read it. Because it's such a unique way of telling a story, and it's just kind of like, even if you don't like the book, it's more of just an interesting look into how books could be written. So I've always wanted her to read it, but I tried to trick her into being like, okay, I'll read this book that you want me to read if you read Slaughterhouse-5. And she was like, I've asked you to read so many books over the years that you've never read. Don't hit me with that. I was like, listen, you're right, but you read too many books. I can't keep up.
Hippocrates, do you have a moment?
For you, Clive? Always.
Well, actually, it's for Mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
I should try reading one of his other books. It's an interesting idea. I never even thought about it.
Shielding for a mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine, she's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obelus complains that without a constant supply of pitch. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew. It is said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames. Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragon fire.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obelus might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and
genius.
see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Hippocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
Ladies?
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Oh, is this gonna be another pick?
Always. Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
Date time, part 2?
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your...
I'm sorry, I have to pick Jill. Sorry. Letting you know right now, I'm picking Jill. I'm way more interested in what she would have to say.
So, Clive, have you made your decision? Who will accompany you on your little excursion?
I'm so interested in her as a character.
Very well.
Tarja's dope,
So
though.
then, what do we need to
But
find?
I'm not as interested in her character.
Preparing a list. Here.
White chocobo eggs. Pepio nuts. Are you sure this list is right? Everything on here seems very edible. I would have thought the ingredients would be a little more exotic.
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely exploited, effects for which they were once highly prized. So much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction, hence moon dews having fallen from favor. Now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find everything you need at the market in Northreach.
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway. I'll set out now. Join me there when you're ready.
Oh, sorry, that's my grocery list. Here's the actual list you need.
You two enjoy yourselves.
You too, Talia. Now, where's Jill?
There's talk. How the hell is anyone supposed to afford that price?
Welcome.
She has an enhancer. Raging Fist cooldown. Meteorite. Oh my god, I could buy meteorites for 1,000 gil a pop. But my really expensive renown prize was 2 meteorites. I could buy max meteorites right now. I should honestly buy some potions. I'm like out.
An excellent choice.
Even though I find them all the time.
Them pilchards nice and chilled.
Are those Pepio nuts? I can never tell.
How goes the hunt for ingredients?
I've only just started.
This looks like a good place for some
amongst all these stores, though.
ingredients.
Why don't we split up and see? We'll take a couple of ingredients each.
All right. What am I looking for?
How about you look for the Pepio nuts and some garlic? I'll find the other things we need. We can meet by the gate when we're finished.
Your friend asked me to get rid of some wolves, so I got rid of the wolves.
Fresh cuts. Come and get them before they're gone.
We haven't much, but you're free to look.
Wow, 10 gil.
Ah, yes.
Wow, now this is really a fetch quest. Holy cow.
What do you want?
Talk about
That's
fetch
what you
quest.
want. That's everything. Let's see how Jill's getting on.
Did you find everything?
I did. Here.
I can't believe all this is main
Garlic
quest
and
too.
Pepio nuts.
These aren't even side
Perfect.
quests.
Now all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this into what Mid needs to keep her engine cool.
Are we going on our date now?
But before we head back,
Yep.
would you walk with me a while?
Wow. I mean, at least, okay, I was gonna say, like, man, this whole section is such huge padding, but at least we have these two cool, like, conversations with 2 different characters. I'm looking forward to this one. Hey, give us a little privacy there, doggo.
Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells?
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go racing away and we'd have to go running after him. We wouldn't catch you now, would we, boy?
You're dang
Was
right.
there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Well, sort of. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells particularly good pies. Thought you might like to share one with me.
She's a pie lady.
Thank you.
She likes pies.
And I saw some bread.
Torgal. Eyeing down the bread.
Big white cobs like the baker back in Rosalith used to make. What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. But then I tried a slice of the butcher's dry-cured ham and it was just... oh,
You all right?
sorry. It's just... you're right. I really do feel like a child again being here with you. Clive. Is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. And it's how our lives will be when our work is finally done. When we can live on our own terms.
I hope so. Thank you, Clive.
The way she was talking about that food, she's after my chat's heart.
Well, I suppose we better be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
All right. Are we done with all the fetch quests now?
I wonder how Hippocrates is getting on with the moon dew.
Oh, you know how stupid it would be if, like, they set up the kiss, like, 3 times, and then just randomly during some fetch quest, when it's, like, in-engine and not even a cutscene, they just, like, randomly kiss. It totally ruined it. It totally ruined the moment.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Hippocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Talia how we might best...
It's not even like a good kiss either. They like totally miss.
And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
Uneven kiss. One goes high, the other goes low.
I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
Yikes.
I'm sure you have.
The classic.
What about shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you.
Just headbutt each other.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course.
They both tilt, but they tilt the same way, so their noses just touch, and then they're like, oh crap, what do we do now?
Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice just being with you.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the
You mean sitting there?
and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Hippocrates. Well,
Hooray.
I'd better go and give Mid the good news then.
Good news, Mid. I haven't hit something with my sword in like 45 minutes. That's not true. I guess I had to fight the eyeball.
We're seeing troops amassing.
Yeah. I mean... Seems like they put a lot of work into this part. It would be nice to have maybe 4 separate cutscenes. One with Gab, one with Otto, one with Jill, and one with Arja. Even if they were just, you know, 10 seconds long or something. Something to feel like a bit of a reward for, because you know, there's something very similar to this in the remake. The dresses, right? You have to go through all these not side quests, but you have to go through all these like chores in order to get a dress, but your reward is the dress scene, and each dress scene is different, and they're all fully laid out cutscenes, but you get a different cutscene depending on which dress you get, right? So it would have been cool to see something like that, where like, depending on who you picked, you get 4 separate little tiny cutscenes just to give you a reason to play through again and see the other one. Yeah, it was the main quest, but like the chores you had to do to pick the dress, you know.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat.
Oh, you were talking about this, yeah. Yeah, it's a main quest, so like...
He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as
they could have put more work into it.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me. I'm just the errand boy.
Ain't that the truth?
Better start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer!
He's finally accepted his true calling.
Game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference.
She got all sad.
I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way.
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is going to require some precision walloping.
Why do you say it like that? And why does she laugh without moving her mouth? Now I'm terrified. She might be a ghost. Precision walloping. That's a thing right there.
It's finished. It's finally finished.
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's 1 down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang in Canva can build the rest.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
Wait, she's still the quest. I just have to talk to her again. Is that phasing through that sheet, or is it just barely touching it? I think it's just barely touching it. Hold on. Enhance that image. Higher. It's going through. Is that going through? Oh, it's definitely going through. Wait. Is it behind it? That's the one I was looking at. That one isn't going through? What about that other one? That looks like it's going through, but it might just be behind it. Hold on. I need to investigate further. This is extremely important.
He cracked the crystal too.
That's why they put this up. I was wondering why this was up here. Now it makes sense. It's so you can see this with greater clarity. This is the weirdest side quest yet. Shut up. It's important. I think it's... I see clipping. That little tiny corner. That little tiny corner is clipping. What have they done? How could they do this? My immersion is ruined and my day is ruined. Everything's ruined. After editing. Squire? Fetch my iPhone. I have a date with a Reddit thread.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
That's not even part of that thing, though. That's just always there.
Let's sail it round the lake.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just daydreaming. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores unknown, searching for a land untouched by the Blight, just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the Twins turned black, we might still have a chance. That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we needed it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want her to be that. I don't want her to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Don't you always? All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans, I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
I would say 3 dates in one day, but not sure this one's a date. Not exactly my definition of a date.